Becoming a dad has made me become a better software engineer. And I don't mean that as a nice quote. I'm going to share with you the four specific things that it taught me that I carry straight into my work. The first piece is just everything as it relates to time, right? If it's my own time, my family's time, my work time. I need to organize my life in a way where I can be everywhere at the same time. And that just is impossible. But if I carefully plan out my schedule and I discuss and communicate that with my family, then it is possible that I get to go to work, I get to work on my personal brand, I get to show up as a dad, I get to be a great husband, and I get to be there for anyone and also get some time for myself. And the rule that I keep going by is that once I have the schedule, I test it out, and I really would have to make it happen on that schedule. Because if I don't do it on that schedule where we scheduled it, I will not get a chance to do it on that week. And over time, it just becomes like I am not fulfilling my own wishes and promises, and I actually grow doubt to myself. So the doubt will turn into fear, which will turn into not taking any actions, and then it will just cycle into something really dramatic. But if I really show up at the time that I said I would, each time it really builds the confidence to myself, that I can trust myself, that I can rely on myself. And that little bit of belief, that self-belief in myself takes gives me the energy to keep going and to keep showing up each time, to follow the schedule and to feel happy and proud. So time is number one. The second part is having a clear and distinct meaning and purpose in myself and in my life. So I think I sit down to myself right now that we have a family of three and I'm a new dad. What is the most important thing for me? And it comes down to this. I want to provide for my family. I want to be there for our growth and to spend quality time together. And this family and quality time and everyone being healthy, everyone being taken care of, physically, medically, emotionally, this is the number one, and nothing should stand in the way of it. And every action, every decision, and every habit that I do really need to reinforce this idea, right? Which is I want to provide for my family, I want to be there for my family, and I want to prioritize this. And I want to make quality time. I want to do everything that I do, but also keeping my family at number one because that is what I value. So if I needed to change some of my habits or routines, which no longer serve this greater purpose, right, or meaning, I can prioritize that through time. I can seek help. I can talk to someone. I can learn how I can replace the negative influence, the negative habit, the negative pattern with a healthy one where I can motivate myself, where I can just grow, and that I can spend all the energy doing the healthier ideas and healthier habits into thinking, into connecting that I'm doing it for my goal, for my meaning and value, which is actually has more weight than my goal, right? I'm driven by my meaning and purpose, which is I want to provide for my family and I want to be the kind of person that is available and that provides. So having this, being a new dad, it's actually like I didn't have a lot of time to think about it, but when I actually do, wow, it became clear to me that this is who I am going to be and this is who I want to be. So telling myself that, right, this is, I actually have more meaning and purpose after being a dad and starting a family. It's definitely different than if I were married or, right, if I didn't have any babies or if I didn't have any extended family. So it really changes the meaning and purpose of how I see myself in my life. The next one is that I continuously learn new skills, right? Whether I'm at work or outside of work or when I'm at home. Just like I'm learning, right, the AI agents and prompting and LLM operations and at my 9 to 5 enterprise resiliency and cloud operations, I get to be somebody who always learn. So this is a great feeling because I feel like I'm always growing and I feel like I'm being stretched, I'm being challenged, and I am needed in wherever I am at home, right? If I needed to be more handy around the apartment, around the house to fix things, to build things, to making sure things are safe and secure. I get to do that. If I needed to research something that we need to do, if I need to plan something, it all helps me be more organized and more detail oriented and kind of more efficient now that I have my meaning and purpose and I have my time prioritized or time managed. I know when I can do something and when I shouldn't be doing something, when is an unhealthy habit that I should be working on replacing that. So this feeling of just like keep learning and keep growing, it's actually just really, I think it makes me happy to see myself that I can keep learning and keep growing in all these different areas that I never thought that I would be. So just keep learning continuously, even outside of work and as a new dad. It's quite really fulfilling. This next one, I think it's probably the most important one. And this final one is actually not very obvious, which is I am becoming a new dad that I can have my family to follow me, right? I'm setting an example in my own life that my daughter get to watch me and my wife get to watch me and they get to learn from me, right? They see me every day. And if I don't have good time management, if I don't have good emotional intelligence, and I don't have good habits, and that I'm not somebody who is learning and growing all the time, right? They would think that they wouldn't necessarily think bad of me, but if I become somebody who they can model after, right? They can look up to me as somebody who is successful, who is happy, who is working on themselves, and who wants to take care of their family, right? I get to become that model. I get to become a leader in my own family that I'm setting good examples. I'm setting good healthy habits. I am being disciplined and I am working on myself every day and I bring out positive and healthy energy and discussion. So I get to become this as a new dad, which I think it connects to the meaning and purpose here for this one because I know that I now have somebody who will need me, right? Babies are needy. So my daughter will need me, my wife will need me, and I need myself. I need to show up to the best of myself every day and every week. Not just because I think that I should, but because of the meaning and purpose that I have now. And because I get to be a leader who does these things even when I don't feel like it, so that my team and that my family can follow what it is that I do and learn from me. So these are the last one. It's a little subtle, but I do like that I get to be a leader. I get to set an example for my child that, hey, this is how I'm learning to be. And I am becoming really who I wanted to be every day. And I'm growing into it. So these four things, I think, after I became a dad, it connects to my work and it connects to how I probably become a better engineer because I get to practice like time management, learning on the go, performing well and learning under pressure and learning continuously, setting an example, being a leader, speaking up, right? So taking on new challenges at work because I get to practice that at home, right? I grow into somebody else beyond my role and beyond my expectations because I embrace the challenge and the responsibility. So it has been quite challenging in the beginning, but I think it's a very rewarding decision, and it's just incredible. I feel really blessed. I feel that I am living in the dreams of myself from a few years ago, right, 5 years ago, and that I'm continuously to making it happen by being disciplined and by being consistent and just learn and grow and share and teach and then one by one, right, all of these things outside of work and outside of technical abilities, outside of how to be the best engineer technically, these things actually help me grow as an engineer directly, which some of these ideas and qualities cannot really be measured, right? Like it's hard to measure what is your emotional intelligence or how do you perform under stress. What is your day to day? What is your attitude and your mindset? What does that look like on a day to day? And what is your motivation behind, right? What you do every day? What's your meaning and purpose? I think it takes time and it builds, right? You don't really meet someone new and then you ask these things around the team at work, right? It takes time. So these are my current experience and thoughts. I hope you like it. Let me know what has helped you before, and feel free to ask me any questions in the comments or connect with me on LinkedIn, and right, we can all grow together.